No, I'm hearing.
I'm good.
I'm hearing.
Good. Music, you know what it is. Alright.
Okay, let's do this. Hello.
Yeah, we're doing it. So before we started, and I guess we'll just start one time. It was really talking about something interesting, and I wanted to kind of like hone in, which was the.
So you're going to introduce me? Just
No, it's a Nameless podcast.
So everybody is going to guess it's me?
Yeah.
Host had to just be out here guessing. All right,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, no.
It's a Nameless podcast, so I guess I can't say my name. If it slip out, we just do a little beep.
Nah,
And call that.
yeah,
We go try.
I'm too lazy to beep anything because the last person slipped out and it was just like, see, all right, one episode we had, real name was spitting, but then after when I was editing, it's like, you know what? I'm not putting that episode out.
I may throw some names out there. I mean,
if you throw a name for shade, then all right.
No. It won't be shady. I just saying, I might say a name or two. But okay, cool. So go back. Yes.
All right. So the thing is, this whole thing is about games and how we play. From video games, childhood games, traditional games, but it's interesting that is theater you was talking about, and it was like you work with children. So I want to know how you does use games and how you does handle with games.
Okay. So yeah, I work with children. I been teaching children way too long. 18 years, just about. The whole thing about teaching children with theater is that we have to remember that with theater, you are playing a character, right? Whether you use the Stanislavski method or you use the Bertolt Brechtian method or whatever method of acting you want to use, you are still playing a character. It depends on how deep you want to get into it. So when you're teaching kids who are younger, remember they don't really understand the method acting and what that means.
They don't nothing technical.
They don't.
They just love play.
They understand if you explain it to them, if you break it down, and I do at some points because some children are inquisitive like that. But generally, it's about throwing out situations to them and saying, look, 15 minutes. Give me that story in 15 minutes.
All right, well,
and just seeing what their imagination come up with. And that's why I like to teach children over adults. Children still have that innocence of limitless imagination. Adults start to feel like there's a right and a wrong way to a situation. Children will do the most ridiculous things. And also be like, well, that in real life will never happen, so we won't act that out. Who knows? You don't know. Ridiculous things happen every day. And so that's why I love to just come into my class and I will tell my kids, so today, you on Maracas Beach and the earth started to shake. You have 15 minutes, go. And I want a whole story.
Okay.
And I put them into groups.
All right, so that seems to be a lot more technical than the direction I want to go, because I am more feeling for vibes. I want to more like hone in the way that we play, like how children just play and
you see, that's part of it. You see, when you throw things out to kids in theater, remember the same thing. It comes back to playing. So you are playing the mommy, you are playing the daddy, you are playing the little child. I will choose to be the lifeguard. I will choose to be the policeman. No, I want to be the policeman. No, I want to be the medic that comes and gives CPR. So throwing anything out to them is not them just saying, well, okay, let's just do an earthquake situation. No, you're in a group of 5, a group of 10, depending on how much I decide to put in a group. Because my class, I have roughly like 40 kids in my class.
Yeah, so you could consider it as a role-playing game, right?
Yeah, but we do it all the time.
Yeah,
we do it all the time, and I said no, you have to, and then what we do in our class is that when you get your 15 minutes to work it out, so I don't even tell them who they have to be. I drop a scenario. I say you have 15 minutes. You have to create your characters, give me a full storyline. So whatever I tell you could be the beginning, the middle, or the end. That also helps with their creative writing when that time comes.
Okay.
So they use those things even in regular school, because you have to act it out. It's just like writing a creative writing essay. in school.
That's interesting.
And I make them write it as well sometimes. And I say, okay, you figure out. And then you start to see children. I could tell you who are my natural directors from the age of 7.
How about, can you tell me who are your natural players?
I have natural players. I have children who could morph into a character like nothing.
And well, like get deeper into that kind of natural play conversation, because I'm really interested in like games and the way we play, and especially where we grew up, because you know where we come from and all that stuff. To me, I know that this is how we learn to survive. Like, even though we will probably adjust to society very differently, and we kind of will have our education at our disposal. Growing up, you really had to survive through play. Like for me, I used to play water bag war. I used to play cricket in the yard. I used to play with the boys, break window and all that stuff. You're running and all that stuff. But when you reflect on it, it's like, oh, these were like survival techniques I learned while I was playing as a child.
Yeah,
so
and theatre does the same thing. Theatre games are the same way. But what you have to do as a theatre practitioner with children is you have to tie it back. You have to bring it full circle. So sometimes, as I say, I will give them any such scenario and I'll say, act that out. And then we sit now and I say, okay, you all be the critics of the work.
Oh, so basically like a reflection process.
Yeah, so then I let the rest of the class critique your work.
So how old would you say those children know how to be though?
My drama class starts from the age of 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the ones that are like... Because I remember, there's a time I remember that for me this was really, really beautiful. It was one of the productions that you guys would do, and you had like a little one. You had very little ones.
Oh no, those are my dancing babies.
Oh, dancing.
Those are my dancing babies. The reason why we start drama from 7 is because they have to be able to write. Because that's part of the whole experience of the drama class. You have to be able to write about something, about a game that we just played. And again, that is now a guided conversation. So you ask them things like, all right, so we just did, let's say, a mirror exercise where you have to mirror somebody's movement and vice versa. And we do it almost like in slow motion. So those children are moving at dead slow pace because somebody has to mirror you. And then I'll say, and you have to keep eye contact through the whole exercise. And they are moving and arms and they're on the ground and they stand back up and full slow motion. And then afterward, full crouching tiger, you name it, them just be, and their minds go and their bodies go and and there's literally no limit. And then when the exercise is over, we get a quick break, have some water, and we come back and you get your drama book and we start. Okay, what was it like to lead somebody else? And then you write down the answer for that. And again, there's no right or wrong answer in playing.
Yeah, it's your experience.
Which is why I come back to I don't like to teach adults, because they feel like, because by the time you're an adult, you've been taught, like with CXC and everything else, that there's a right and that there's a wrong answer. People understand that in theatre, there's no right and wrong answer. You are playing. So if for you being the leader made you feel powerful or made you feel strong or made you feel, whatever it is, and then I say, okay, how did it make you feel to be led by somebody else? Give me adjectives, and children understand that there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
So that is how we use games in theatre.
Okay.
And then we tie it back into a conversation, which ties back into their vocabulary for school, which ties back into their creative writing for school. It's all connected. Parents just see the children run up and down, and oh God, look, she doing some kind of kung fu exercise. No, there's a purpose.
No, I want a class like that. I want to see you doing some kung fu exercises.
There's an exercise that the children like to play, which I don't let them play too often, but it's a trust exercise, it's actually a trust game. So here's what we do. Everybody stands to one side of the room, and then one child lies down in the middle of the room. Everybody has to run and jump over that one child. When everybody reaches to the next side, the last child lies down. So now you have 2. And everybody run and jump over 2, and then to 3, and then to 4, and then to 5. We've gotten up to like 7 of them lying down on the floor. and they will run up and they will
That
freeze.
just sounds real fun and
It is
scary.
fun. It is so fun. Like, you will see them run up and they will freeze. I was like, listen to me. Limitless. I said, you are limitless. I said, if you think you are going to fall on somebody's child, you will. If you think you can fly over 7 people, you will. And look, you see, when you see them take off with that speed and run and flight and man tuck and roll and get back and ball, yeah, and scream out, and I be there screaming with them, it's because there is that abandonment of playing games, and that's a game, and then now it's a game.
I don't think abandonment would be able to do it. I think it's more like that surrender to the experience.
Yeah, you can abandon all. You see, you kind of let go the fear, the what ifs, the questioning, and parents, they're like, no, don't do that, and I'm like, mommy, leave my class, my children will do this. And then when that exercise is done, everybody's cheering you on. Come on, jump over. Come on, just run. And they all get so involved in this exercise. And then we sit down and we write about it. Now, tell me how you feel.
All right. Now, I'm going to stray this, well, not straight, but I want to guide this to be a little bit more interested in terms of games as it evolves into video games and games as it's evolved into carnival. Like, what was your understanding of when I
Right.
said
Okay.
this?
So I was a tomboy as a child. People don't know that, but yeah,
I
I have more battle scars than most boys. I will be very proud to say. I have a dislocated shoulder. I have fractured my ankle right in Woodbrook playground. I fractured my ankle pretty badly. I have like 26 stitches in my chin. I have a white man straight down my shin on my right foot. You don't have boys, most boys don't have half the battle scars I have.
So you have more boy days than boys.
What? You riding bike with no slipper on in the gravel road? Oh boy. White man for so, and you end up in the big drain and your whole stomach full of white man, but you had to go to school the next morning. Yes. So I grew up outside. As much as I did dance and drama as a child, I spent a lot of my time in the road. I had liked to ride a bike. Really, I still love to ride a bike. And I live on a hill. I mean, I live on the bottom of the hill, but my street is a hill. So as a child, the joy was to see how far up the hill you could get, and then pedal down that hill, and then you had to make the sharp bend, and then the next sharp bend. And prayer no Pacado come and lick it down, which is why you just end up in the big drain. Because you swerve, you hit the culvert, and you end up in the drain. But that was our childhood. All the children were outside. We had mango trees at the corner. They were like a whole yard for like almost like 15, 20 mango trees. You go up in the mango tree, and
you pick a mango and climb the tree and thing, and you fall down.
the neighbor across the road had a guava tree that I used to good read, because I really love guava. I used to read that woman tree. If she only knew how much she guava went missing because of me. But you don't see that a lot now. Like, I live on the same street since I've...
Well, games have evolved.
it has evolved.
It's more like an indoor...
It's an indoor thing, right? So, like, nowadays, you don't hear that noise outside. I miss it. So when I do hear children in the road, I get excited because it brings me back to my childhood. You know, it brings me back to you're playing cricket in the middle of the road. You know, or you put two big stone on that small goal.
Yeah, how good.
And when you're going inside your whole baby toe great way, we had to go to school Monday morning. So when I do hear the kids on the street, I really get excited, because I was like, I'm not, as much as I know video games have become such an integral part of children's
gaming experience.
No, recreational activities, just recreational activity in life. You don't hear that sound of children outside anymore. In most neighborhoods, you don't hear them outside because everybody's in a tablet playing a game. I mean, I have 8 godchildren. I could tell you that my godchildren, when they reach by me, put away them tablets. We are going to go wash the car. We're going and go in the savannah and run and play, you know.
And how's that experience for them? Like, I know for me, like, it's interesting because technology has done it in such a way that it's difficult for them to come out of gaming experiences in terms of video games.
It is difficult for them. I think it now rest heavily in the parents, in that you really have to. Okay, so for instance, in my drama class, when iPads and tablets had first come about in the earlys, when like the first iPad had come out, and certain parents had iPads, and of course they would let the child come to drama class with the iPad, and then one iPad is fine, and then you realize more and more parents buying these tablets, whether it be Samsung or iPad or whatever.
It becomes the social norm.
And then I realized I wasn't hearing the noise. So before my class starts, they all wait outside. And I used to have to all shut up. I'm still trying to teach inside. All too noisy. Take all the voices down. And then I realized after a while, but these children are arriving and I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing the conversation. I'm not hearing the laughter and the nothing. And I realized because everybody's head is in a device. And then when I go to class and you'll come to class and I say, oh, where's John? And they look at you, Auntie, who's John? I said, but John stands right next to you. They don't know because their heads are so buried in these devices that they stop interacting with one another. They stop talking to each other. How are you going to know that John stands next to you, but John doesn't necessarily go to the same school as you, or Mary goes to the same school as you? But your head is so buried in a device. So that now, I have now banned electronic devices from my drama class.
Well, you see, now this is interesting because now we're in a space where, well, COVID has made the device now the prominent feature.
Yeah, it has. I mean, and it's...
How was that adjustment in terms of like, I know like you understand, right now what I'm understanding is that you really understand outdoor play. Like the values of outdoor play.
I do. I tell my children, go and play. I've once told my drama kids already, I said, go and stand up in the rain. It was drizzling. It wasn't like heavy pouring rain, parents. It was a drizzle. But I remember as a child, my drama teacher made us go stand up in the rain to feel what rain feels like. And I thought that was like the best, most awesome exercise in the world. To this day, I still bathe in the rain. But children don't bathe in the rain. Like children, like my God, children just watch me and be like, Auntie, you're crazy to bathe in the rain. I said, get out here and bathe in some rain.
No, yeah. As a child, that was like the biggest event for me.
That was the biggest thing in the world. You waiting for that. And especially if like a little guttering have a little spout and that water beating down on you. Oh my word. But I understand that now we are forced into a space. The arts has been forced into a very, very virtual space. And even for me, it's challenging because I'm now starting to teach a drama class via Zoom. And it's strange. It's a weird phenomenon. You know, it's just odd. It's odd that they're not in front of me. It's odd that they can't do much group work. Like, we haven't yet to figure out how do you do a group exercise.
Well, let me interject here because now you're falling in the realm of video games, and video games are highly grouping depending on the game that you play.
Well, yeah,
games have shifted since games have shifted more on the indoor activities, and well, you know me, I'm a nerd. I'm very introspective. Yeah, it's only now I decided to come out, and when I decided to come out, it's like they tell me to go back in. So it's like, oh shit. Well, fine.
Right.
Games has changed the way we play, and there's no denying that.
Yeah.
It has become this very virtual mental space. It has become this very tactical space. It has become this very, you no longer focus on the experience of like going outside, being in the rain, because those was my childhood too. I have brothers, and anytime we had rain, at the time my nephew, who was only about 2 at the time, saw us run outside, and he barely could walk running outside with us too, lying down on the ground trying to make angels in water, like, because you're doing nonsense, but it's fun.
It's fun.
Now it's like focused on like competition.
Now it's focused on Fortnite and all of these games that they are. Yes, I know what Fortnite is. Oh my God.
Fortnite. You're kind of old for just mentioning Fortnite, because the new thing is Apex.
I know. I was trying to remember Apex only because my son is turning into like. Well, remember. Okay, I have godchildren that range from 16 to 4. So it's a range of video games that I see play in my house. The 4-year-old is play a little truck thing where he could build the truck and then the truck does dig up things, but then he loves trucks. So any video game that we find for him has to either be
driving or
dinosaur based, because he could tell you names. Yes, he does say the word what is the word he loves to say? Oh my god. Pterodactyl. He says it perfectly in his little lisp. Pterodactyl. And triceratops. So I've been learning about dinosaurs. So I get to see a wide range of video games play in my house because of the age ranges of my godchildren. So some of them are still in that Fortnite because they're a little younger. What is the other one they used to play that has like the blocks things? Minecraft. I have about 2 of them that into the Minecraft right now. Some are into Fortnite. The teenagers, of course, are into the Apex right now. So like my son wants a bigger monitor and he wants a bigger hard drive so he could play video games, because in his mind he's going to become a professional gamer if school doesn't work out. I was like, that will not happen. That and Jesus.
I mean...
That and Jesus.
Who's
Jesus.
Macasey? I don't know this person you're talking about. This is Nameless. But I would interrupt there because games kind of push in towards that direction. If you look at it as more of sport and not just as look at it as recreation, in terms that the video games has become like competition.
I understand all of that.
But he suck.
No, he's good. Like till at some point during COVID, he was studying for exams, and I guess his Apex, I guess they were playing, and he was like trying to finish up his studies because somebody was online wanting to play against him and his friend, and it was somebody who was living like in Switzerland or somewhere far away, and he was excited because people want to challenge him and his partner against them, and I'm sitting on there like, CXC passes, you need to, but I mean, I just do that because I'm supposed to do that to him. I'm supposed to tell him, hey, so much video games. But to me, I don't have an issue with the games. The same way how your mother used to tell you long ago, by 6 o'clock when the street light come on, playtime done. I think children need blocks of playtime, the same way how we had blocks of playtime. We had blocks of playtime. People don't think of it like that. I remember my grandmother saying, once that street light come on, get inside.
Yeah, because after that night time comes.
Yeah, but you could start from 7 o'clock in the morning. Once breakfast done, you could be outside there in that yard whole day. But that was a specific block of time. Now you have children playing games
non-stop.
Like, I had to turn and tell my son, I was like, when last did you get some sun? Like, when last did you go outside? Like 2 days ago. I said, what day was 2 days ago? Monday. I said, well, today's Friday. That was not 2 days ago. Time has elapsed and he has not realized, because he's in his room with AC and black curtain and playing video games, because school hasn't started back yet for them for 6th form. But you need to come outside.
So you're looking at the difference between indoor gaming and outdoor gaming here, which is really interesting, because I want to bring it to Carnival, because for me, I do see my whole thing is that I'm really deep into game philosophy and game theory and building games as a very large narrative, and I do see Carnival as a game more than a spectacle.
Why would you explain what you mean by that?
All right, well,
just so that I have a clearer context.
Well, see, that was for our next podcast. This is just
okay. Sorry.
This is all about games.
I'm jumping the gun. I'm not supposed to do that.
No.
No.
Jump the gun. I jump.
That's for the no. That's for the next one. We had our things to talk in the next one. Like we talk. Right. Okay. So you're saying that
Carnival is a game.
So you're saying, well, I guess to some extent, because you all play a character.
We play mass.
Yeah, we play mass.
And we play games.
So, yeah.
So Carnival is a game. I mean, we can go really deep into it if we're looking at every aspect of Carnival.
I mean, yes, you could look at all the different characters that exist. There is a there's a certain speech pattern, there's a certain costume, there's a certain... All of the traditional carnival characters have a backstory. And it is. I want, well, not once, part of long time ago in my life.
Oh, a long time
ago. I once played the baby doll character.
Oh, really?
I did. And Uncle Tony Hall. I'm going to call
that real names.
I could call Uncle Tony Hall because we discussing play and we discussing traditional mass, and that is my link to that. They may know who me is because I ain't say my name yet, so boo.
All right, fine.
But there were these very interesting conversations that we would have about the baby doll character, and he would give me things to read on the backstory and understanding the culture of the baby doll, understanding the culture of the Jamet and the culture of the Damlarine, and that there's a whole backstory. And if you tie it back to playing in theater,
is role playing?
It is, but you role play in every character though. Every character, you're not yourself. You create a backstory. I love to hear when actors create a backstory for a character. I want to know, like, yeah, the page says you're a 20-year-old pizza boy delivery guy. Okay, what's your backstory? How you end up being a pizza boy? What make it is? Do you want to be a pizza boy? Do you want not to be a pizza boy? Do you like to eat pizza? Do you hate pizza? Those are the kind of questions I like to ask my kids, to pull out the story and then send them home and say, write a backstory.
Okay, I seen a real huge connection with games and stories here as well.
Yeah.
Like, and that is more like adventure stories. In terms of video games, that is like your Final Fantasy. That's like your... What game? Oh, that's too much on my list because Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, etc. Most indoor games, in terms of like story-driven games, are very adventure-centric.
Yeah,
You play the character that goes through the narrative. You don't necessarily see the backstory. You stay like you.
People that still play Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, you can't really die too much with it. Assassin's Creed is a very strong game.
I know, but years ago when that first come out, I was a big Assassin's Creed player. By the way, I used to play video games. Used to. Like, I can't play a video game now.
Okay, what games you used to play in the video game space?
I used to like Assassin's Creed, but then you get to slice and chop people. Of course, way back when I was in teens and younger teens, I had older male cousins, so the Atari was around. I played Atari. Boom. I played Atari classic because I had older male cousins. So we had.
So was it that the boys that got you into gaming like that?
Well, remember, I was a tomboy. I was outside with the boys playing. So when one man on the street have a video game, everybody by that one person house.
But I remember the times for us it wasn't Atari, but it was for 64. For the Nintendo 64. And we had Mario Kart, and that was the community game.
Yeah, everybody had your Super Mario, and you used to pull out the cartridge, and you had to blow it and then stick it back in, and you blow. Because at least now we have compressed air in cans, but back then it was off. And you blow that cartridge.
I mean, that's not even a thing now. If you ask them if you ask children now to blow a cartridge, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about?
They will like get some compressed air in a can.
They won't even get a compressed air. They don't know what a cartridge is.
No, well, they will look at it. I mean, sure, now these are quite bright. They will figure stuff out fast.
Yeah, but they just
but they will be like, what you mean blow on it? Like, I made my son play. We got like the modern day Atari. They have kind of like an updated one that you could use now.
You're talking about like a novelty version of it?
Yeah, it's like something like that we got. And when we brought it, I was like, I got excited. It's like, look, Atari. And he's like, I'm going to go back on my computer inside and I'm going to keep playing.
Yeah. This is a you console.
Yeah, this is just, he's like, he's like, what did this come out in like the disco era? I said,
yes.
I was like,
yes.
Yeah, it did. But that's not the point. This is what we learned to play video games on. If we didn't play Atari and we didn't play Pac-Man and all those other games, you all wouldn't have half the crap you all have now. So say thank God to our generation. I'm slightly older. But yeah, I used to play video games as a child. I once had a Sega, the little handheld Sega.
Ooh, it's like Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I had the handheld one as a child. What was the other one? You remember? Is it? No. Yes, I had a Sega. I remember having the little one, the handheld one. And then I had something else. I'm trying to remember. So many video games. It's a lot of cousins, so everybody had some sort of gaming console. So I remember who had really owned what at one point in time. I know DS was my younger cousin, because she's about 10 years younger than me. So she had the Nintendo DS at a point in time. Yeah, the family went through some.
So you get to see games evolve through time, right?
Yeah, and then of course, as I say, I have 8 godchildren, and it's 16 to 4.
Okay, so now I have one more direction I want to go with this conversation, and this one is a little bit more serious about girls versus guys in terms of gaming.
Right.
Like, for me, I think it's also like the dialogue between outdoor games and indoor games as well too, because I find that there's this discourse about gaming that is not really happening between the two.
Okay.
As a woman,
as a gal,
because I know I'm talking real professional at this point in time, because I find we're really deep in it, but let's be real, as a gal, when you play a game, you the first thing you say, you have your boy days.
Yeah, I had boy days. I have no shame in saying I had boy days.
But what about your gal days in games? What would be that difference? Because we really never talk about girl days.
Well, my girl day, I had dolls, and dolls is a form of play because you want to talk like the Barbie, and you want to. So I had dolls, and I chopped off all of their hair, because in my mind I was going to become a hairdresser, and it should have magically grown back. But say what? I had dolls, and it's not like I didn't have dolls. I did own dolls, but it's still play. You know, you want to be the princess and the prince because you've watched so much Disney movies too, and then children emulate that. So who's Ariel? Who's Cinderella? And now, excuse me, and now you see that like Disney, and they now have the costumes that you could buy for them to role play in.
Yeah, but I want more okay, I want more girl stories. Come on.
My girl story.
Oh well, it's so bad about that. We had to wrap up now.
Okay, so my girl stories are Barbie dolls. Yes, I only got black Barbie dolls as a child. No white Barbie dolls. Yeah, I had dolls. I played with them because the other girls played with the dolls, and we played tea party and we played dress up. But nowadays, I think my girl godchildren, they are playing more video games more so than with, yes, they own dolls, but I think because we're in such a such a tech era right now, that they are the ones playing the Fortnite and the Minecraft, and they're not really playing the Barbie games on the computer. They are the ones actually, my 10, 11, 12-year-old daughters. They are playing hardcore games.
Nice. Then I would love to talk to them. We have closing points at this point. What would you like to close off with?
I don't know. What's supposed to close with, boy?
We're playing games.
All playing games. We play games all the time. People think that it's a specific thing. You do it without knowing it. You do it without realizing it. Children do it better than adults, because I always say that they are limitless, and we think that we have to be right or wrong, and there is no right and wrong. It's just fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. The whole point of you going to see a play is because the actors are playing.
It's to have fun.
Have fun. And my kids know we out here on a Saturday
having
fun. To laugh and to make fools of ourselves, and no right or wrong answer.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. This is gonna continue doing a thing, and we're gonna